Dear Mr. Vice President, Human Rights Now condemns the grave human rights violations committed by all perpetrators, including executions and targeted killings of civilians and journalists, abductions, rape and sexual violence, and the enslavement of women and children. ISIL must be held accountable for the grave human rights violations it has committed. At the same time, Human Rights Now must express grave concern over the widespread and systematic human rights violations committed by the Iraqi government and its security forces against its own citizens, mainly against the Sunni population. In the current conflict, ISF associated with the Shiite militia groups have conducted mass killings, attacks, and torture against Sunnis in the Sunni majority regions. For instance, in January 2015, at least 72 unarmed Sunnis in Barwana, Diyala province, were allegedly killed by such forces. In February 2015, a moderate Sunni tribal leader and associates were allegedly assassinated by Shiite assailants. Many photos and videos prove the gravity of ongoing, widespread and escalating violations that may constitute war crimes and crimes against humanity. We urge the Iraqi government to stop unlawful killings and attacks against civilian populations, in particular Sunni people, and to end discriminatory human rights policies. We strongly call on all parties in this conflict, including the US-led coalition forces, to protect innocent civilians and adhere to international human rights and humanitarian law. Mr. Vice President, lack of rule of law, discriminatory attacks against targeted populations, and a prevailing impunity over the human rights violations committed by the government significantly contribute to a chain of retaliations in this conflict. Impunity over all grave human rights violations in Iraq since 2003 must not be allowed to continue. As the first step for justice and accountability, we call on the UN Human Rights Council to establish a commission of inquiry to conduct independent, impartial investigations over the ongoing gross violations of human rights in Iraq. Thank you.